Okay. Okay. And Norma, the interns that are coming, we should set them up after the holiday in January and let them know in January.
Okay. I already met one now, and I'll let the other one.
Okay. Okay, do we not have the best interns? Am I saying that just because they gave me a gift? No. But our interns are fabulous. And then later they end up telling me they've learned so much. And the last intern student I had, they ended up giving me the stole that goes to their graduation gown from college. And I was like, I don't know if you want to give me that. They're like, no, we want you to have it. I'm like, oh, it touches the heart. All right, everyone, we're going to start up exactly at 9. Right now, it's 8:57. So that's when we will start. Oh my gosh, Zach is back.
Good.
Yeah. Good morning. Great.
I got patience in my pocket today, Judge.
Well, let me just tell you what happened to me.
Oh, what? Okay, what happened?
So I went to this library.
Oh, what? Okay. Okay, yes, Judge, you went to a library? So what happened at the library, Judge?
Well, I was opening this book and I ended up going to this different world.
No.
Yes.
What?
And then what ends up, and Deputy Laura was there, and somebody was asking me to say their name to save a planet. And I was like, say your name, huh? And they just said, say my name. And finally, Deputy Laura whispered in my ear and she says, save Moonchild. And I did. And I saved this entire world.
Judge, that is, what is?
It was like a never-ending story.
Never-ending story. That is awesome.
Next, we'll see if I go to the land where there are a bunch of broken toys.
I feel like I know what might happen there, Judge. I can guess.
Oh, and Deputy Laura, even though my mind is a steel trap, could you remind me? I need to order my mom some pecans. Royalty Pecans has great pecans, so I'm gonna order her some. That's her favorite snack, and she does not like them shelled. She likes to shell them herself. I think you were the one who, either you or Norma were the one who introduced me to them, because I was looking for something to get mom. And somebody said, oh, I've ordered from there before. And do you know, one time she had a bad batch and I called them and said, it's a bad batch. And they're like, oh, no problem. We'll send her some more. I'm like, okay. Mhm. Mhm. All right, okay.
So do you want us, I don't know if he's going to.
Oh, we'll see.
Okay.
All right. All right, everyone, I'm going to call the docket. When I call the docket, you need to let me know that you are here. If you don't answer, I'm going to assume you're not here and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Also, a jury is going to be up here at 11. So anybody who wants a jury trial will have one. In custody, we have Alberto Soto, Roland Diaz, Jennifer Mares, Jennifer Joe Mares, Jasmine Hardaway. Thank you.
You guys need to stand up. When she calls your name, please stand up.
Jose Lozano. Thank you. In custody, we have Keenan Brown, Lopez Gonzalez, Velasquez Guzman, Jenkins, Garcia. Oh, are you Latasha Jenkins?
No.
All right, that's okay. Pete Garcia, custody. Joseph Montemoreno, Joseph Montemoreno. Myra Gallegos. Thank you. Eros Rodriguez. Eros Rodriguez. Oh, custody. Thank you. Arturo Villanueva. Thank you. Patrick Jenkins. All right, thank you. Jordan Summers. Jordan Summers. In custody, we have Richard Rodriguez, Ricky Perez, Rogelio Lara. Thank you. Stephen Rose. Thank you. In custody, we have Jose Carrion. How do you pronounce that? Pantoja?
Pantoja?
Pantoja. I never know if the J is a J or an H. Yeah. All right. Roland Diaz, custody. Christian Torres Lugo, custody. Mark Reyes, custody. Nathan Cruz, custody. Joel Castillo. Thank you. Thank you. Dylan Parker. Thank you. Is there a Sergio Serta? If you're here, your case has been reset at the request of your attorney. Abdul Miller, custody. Jack Bernal. Jack Bernal. All right, those of you who are on the front row, you're only on the front row if you're late. Jack Bernal. Pablo Rodriguez. Pablo Rodriguez. Gallegos custody. Felix Acuna. Felix Acuna. Felix Apolinar custody. Devin Wilson custody. John Garcia custody. Joshua Patillo custody. Edgar Aguilar custody. Johnny Limon custody. Is there anyone who came in late or your name was not called? Oh, wow. Look at this, Norma. Yes, what's your name? I'm sorry, what? Tavon. Spell your first name. All right. Do you know your SID number or case number?
What?
3118.
35.
All right. Is it 2 8s or 3?
2 weeks.
All right. 1188354. All right. What's your name? Zachary Sanchez. Is he on the docket? All right. What's your case number or SID number? All right. All right. Is that your, who is that with you? So guys, listen up. Mothers, fiancés, and girlfriends always keep up with your information for you. So you need to be nicer to them. All right, we're going to come back to him. Do you have it? All right, we'll come back to you. Yes.
Brian Maldonado.
First name?
Brian.
Brian, last name?
Maldonado.
Do you know your case number or SID number? All right, just have a seat. We'll get with you. Yes. Jennifer Mares.
She's late, but she's on the.
All right. So if you'll sit on the front row. What page is she on?
She's on page 29.
All right. Yes. Alan Little. Do you know your case number or SID number?
736878.
All right. Do you know who your attorney is? Have you had contact with your attorney? All right. We're going to make sure it happens today. Alan Little. And the case number is 736878. See if you can get his attorney here. Yes, you, sir. All right, everyone, I need you all to whisper. Yes. First name? Samuel, last name? Vasquez, do you know your case number, SID number?
Case number 720714.
All right, have you had contact with your attorney? All right, we're going to make sure that happens today. All right, who do we have over here? Is she on the docket? She is? All right. You need to be on the first row. All right, what's your name? Frank Torres. Do you know your case number, SID number?
699-761.
699?
761 is my SID number.
All right, have you had contact with your attorney?
I spoke to him, we emailed yesterday, he said that, my court date got moved from yesterday to today.
All right, okay, just have a seat. All right, everyone, these are the rules of the court. Number one, attorneys. If you have a client that is in custody, once you request your client, do not leave the courtroom because there is a limited number of people we can have out for security reasons. Number two, it's our jury trial day. So cases that do not work out, we will be bringing up a jury at 11. Number three, to the persons in the box. I know some of you are in orange, so you're probably thinking, hey, my case is not going to go. That just means that we forgot or there was a miscommunication on dressing you for trial. We will send you back and bring you back dressed for trial. All right, attorneys. To my left, boxes for criminal trial division. To my right, files for family violence. There's an uptick in flu, pneumonia. People are in the hospital needing breathing treatments. Let's not be the court that spreads germs. So once you pull your file, just put it on the prosecutor's desk, have a seat. They will call you in the order in which they receive your file. To the back is probation. Bianca, can you raise your hand? Do not crowd around her. Do not put your stuff on her desk. Even though you don't see walls, they're invisible. That is her office. Don't sit on her desk. Don't put paper on her desk. Don't turn your back to her. If you have someone who's on probation, if you have someone who's here for sentencing, please confer with her. To my left is the court reporter. Do not lean on her stuff. Do not put your paper on your stuff. Do not sit on her stuff or touch her desk or her equipment. Her equipment costs over $10,000. It's like Pottery Barn. If you damage it, you will have bought it. If you have a client who wishes to speak in a language other than English, it does not matter whether you speak the language or not, an interpreter needs to be called down. Do not approach the court coordinator asking for a reset, asking for a continuance. I'm the only person who can give that to you. She cannot. If you have conferred with the state, conferred with your client, and if your client is an inmate and they have been brought out and you're ready to speak with the court about your case, grab your file. Ask the clerk to pull the file. They place it here. You have a seat. I'll call you in the order of appearance. Now, attorneys, lately, this is what's been happening. Attorneys have been approaching. And I'm like, why are you approaching? Oh, I'm here on this file. Did you tell the clerk you were ready? No. So, attorneys, we are very intelligent people. And I know attorneys don't read. And I put myself in that category when I was attorney, not reading things, not listening to instruction. But these are the instructions. So let's make this a Tuesday where everybody follows the instructions. It's going to flow so smoothly if we do. We're going to put a smile on our face. We're going to confer with kindness in our hearts. And whether or not we like the offer that the prosecutor has tendered, we're still going to smile at them as though we do. All right. So everyone, please confer and let's have a great Tuesday. Yeah. You need to talk to somebody? Yeah, just have.
I like it. Oh, and I love it.
Yes.
Dylan Parker.
Jason and Daniel, I'm sending you all an email. And yes, I just received an email from Charles Monk. The military wants him back now. So I'm sending it.
I mean, just send them to Afghanistan somewhere, so, you know.
So I'm sending you all the letters. So you should have received it. And I'm like, wow,
I'm sorry,
I did not know.
I don't know if they're gonna want them after they have them.
Oh, no, they're saying he has not fulfilled his contract. They want him back now. And he owes them, I guess, 6 years, and they want their 6 years.
Well, are they gonna send him to, where's yeah, is that where the military jail is?
No, well, they're saying that if he doesn't come back, they are going to do a court martial,
Yeah.
but they want him back. And they want him to fulfill his contract. And obviously, I guess they know what his charges are. I'm gonna make sure that they know what his,
Because I thought with the conviction, they would not bring him back.
no, you know what it
I thought
reminds me of? When I was in political science class, the professor said, hey, if the military called you up and asked you to serve, would you serve?
Yeah.
And so one
Yeah.
guy who was about, I don't know, maybe 60, he's like, yeah, I'm serving.
Yeah.
And the professor's like, why? He's like, if the military is asking for me, we are in dire straits. So, yeah,
That's about accurate.
yeah. But I sent it to you guys.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
Okay.
That's only my question.
Yeah.
All right, Frank Torres,
Okay.
you need to go to Impact Court.
Sorry?
Impact Court, it's on the second floor.
Second floor?
Yes, and your attorney will meet you there. And on the top of the door, it says Felony Impact Court.
Yes, ma'am. Second floor. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Sorry.
Norma, is it me or is it hot in here?
Oh, no, it's hot.
Oh, my gosh.
Pablo Rodriguez. Yeah. Pablo Rodriguez.
I'll get him.
Oh.
Oh, that's. Okay.
So, this is, let's go on my district.
Pablo Rodriguez.
I don't see. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but jury. I don't really know. And then you'll. Okay, I like that. That's a good plan.
That's what Joel.
How have you been?
Trying to get to the holidays.
He's dead. Yes.
Whenever you're done with her, let's leave. See you later.
Oh, well.
Norma, they just sent me an email for a meeting at 4 today, a judicial meeting. So I need to be there. Yes.
Oh, you're.
Yeah.
But-
Oh,
I would understand. But I would understand that there's a target. The language is just. Tracks the study.
We'll
just then approach it, I guess. That's what we can do.
We always do.
Yeah.
Like today.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody goes downstairs. Have a slow party.
I don't know, maybe I'm listening.
I stay at least.
Do you? I haven't seen. I think on New Year's or
Well, I got a good last year. So I think I did politics like a bunch. And that's even worse, like you almost make it.
Yeah, you were really close. You still stand. And you still be.
Yeah.
Norma, I just emailed it to you.
What the hell? Creepy elves. He's a little creepy.
No, you mean which one?
The door.
No, he is not creepy. I think he's cute. You just never seen a creepy elf before.
Judge, can I approach for a moment?
Sure.
On a recent. Got the case in here tomorrow.
Okay, you need to have them pull the file in the back. Yes, you're welcome.
So we can.
Okay, Diana, you're really making it easy for me to find you. You're even adding 187 to it. Then everybody's doing the date. Okay.
Is it Gonzalez?
Joseph Montemarino,
Judge, I'm present. May I approach?
what, are you ready to proceed on that?
We're ready. He texted me saying that he had an issue with COVID. I told him he needed to bring something from the doctor.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Norma, this needs an interpreter.
I did call an interpreter down for conference.
Okay.
Case, but I don't know, what is he, I, he on the docket?
Yeah, Eric Gonzalez Lopez.
I thought you were looking at his case.
No. Oh, the interpreter is here.
How would the court, so he just,
Yes, ma'am.
If he doesn't have anything, I'm gonna give him till 10 o'clock to get that to the court. Otherwise, a warrant's gonna be issued.
this morning?
Yes, so if you all come back at 10. All right, thank you.
I'll call you up and just get it. No, that's all right.
All right, who's here on Eric Gonzalez Lopez?
Judge, good morning.
Good morning. All right, Mr. Lopez, if you'll come up. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. So what is happening with this case?
Judge, this was our final, I guess, plea date, and
All right, everyone needs to whisper,
I have discussed.
and I'm gonna have to ask everybody, when people are before the bench, don't approach the coordinator or anybody because there's a lot of chatter from the side and it makes it difficult for everybody to concentrate what is happening now.
Your Honor, I have discussed, there were two final offers conveyed to me this morning by the state. One of them we already knew about, the other was a little different than what we had been discussing. It's my understanding from my client, and I'd like the court to confirm with him that he is rejecting those offers and understands that there will be no further offers and that we will be proceeding to trial.
All right. Mr. Gonzalez Lopez, do you understand the offer that's been tendered?
Yes.
All right. And do you wish to go to jury trial?
Yes.
All right. Do you understand that in this court, there's what's called a plea deadline date? Do you understand that?
Yes.
So what that means is that the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case after today without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes.
So what that means is when a jury lines outside and they come into the court, now is not the time, at that time, excuse me, is not the time to say, oh, guess what? I do want that offer that was tendered. I wasn't expecting that there would actually be a jury trial. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Oh.
All right.
Thank
Is
you,
there
Judge.
anything else?
No, I'll just get with Norma, I guess, for the date, or do you want to give us a date? for
All right.
trial?
Are y'all ready for trial today?
Oh,
Judge,
no.
we were still waiting on that translation. It should be done this week.
Okay, is this the translation that's already in the court's file?
There's a couple different translations. I think there's one or two more that are left outstanding in this case that we were told should be done by the end of this week.
And I'll just remind the court that this is probably the last time you'll see me until after the first of the year, because I did have vacation.
Okay. All right, so when did you say definitively that that translation is going to be ready?
From memory, I remember we got an email last week saying that they should be done by this week.
All right, so what we're going to do is Norma, can you recall this back? Are you going to be here on December 14th?
No, Judge, I'm out from December 8th to January 8th.
Ah,
Sorry.
no problem.
I'll be checking my emails. If I don't get the translation, I can certainly let the court know via email, but I
Okay,
won't be able to be here.
all right, and how long are you expecting this jury trial to last?
I would,
2 to 3 days, Judge, just because there's a lot of witnesses. There's a couple different scenes.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson. On this case, it's going to be 2 days for a jury trial. What date can you give them? And on this other case, are there co-defendants in this case?
Yes, Judge.
I was gonna say, I think that's probably a little bit optimistic on the time. I think that we're probably gonna be looking at it. I'm assuming that he's gonna wanna go to the jury for punishment, just if, in case he is convicted, but I'll discuss that with him. I would think even if he's going to the court for punishment, I think the case in chief is probably about 3 days, at least.
Are there videos?
There are probably going to be a few videos, Judge.
Are there videos that are over 13 hours long?
No, don't think that long, Judge.
See, that's how I judge everything. So I think we'll be fine.
Or Judge, one video that's 4 hours that just gets replayed twice.
Okay, all right, so we'll be good. So 2 to 3 days, Norma. All right, January 9th will be your jury trial. And is this the case where the co-defendants have pled?
2 of them have, Judge.
Okay. All right, we'll come back for January 9th for jury trial.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. Zachary, hi.
May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Have a good one. Zachary Sanchez. Yes, you need to be an impact for jury trial. If you go to the second floor and just look above the courtroom and you'll see where it says felony impact court.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Just one moment. I'm trying to find something. Remember which page is Eric Lopez on it?
He is on page. He's on page 10.
All right, thank you. I just flew right past it. Yes.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
I'm going to confer with the prosecutor in a little bit. He's got me behind a few other files, completely understandable.
Mhm.
Maybe excused to go answer in another court.
Yes.
I'll be back in about 30 minutes, Judge.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Stephen Rose. Hello. Hi. Oh, you're on this side, counsel. All right, so this is set for jury trial today. All righty.
We have conferred with the state and we are respectfully asking for a reset.
We're set for jury trial today.
And Judge, I did give a new offer recently, so.
All right, how old are you?
I'm 40.
All right, you're 40 years old. You need to think about that offer. Jury's coming up at 11.
All right.
All right, thank you. They're not done on that.
Carrying over with you. Please don't tell them.
Joshua Patillo. Oh, Miss Compton. All right, where's Patillo?
He's over here.
All right, so with regards to these cases, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yes, Judge. So a couple of things I would like to ask the court about. So first of all, Mr. and I think he pronounces the same Patillo, but I'm not sure. So, Mr. Patillo recently returned from the state hospital. He was found to be restored. However, he is not receiving the medications in the jail that he was receiving at the hospital, and
Okay.
he's starting to have some.
So is he receiving, are you receiving any medications at the jail?
Yes, ma'am. But it's not it's not the same medication that the doctor gave me.
All right, any objection to me calling to see about this?
I have no issue with that, Judge, and I would like, if, I don't know how the courts do here and there, but sometimes the courts can order that he be given the medications that he was coming
Matt,
from the
you're calm
hospital
down.
with.
All right, just give me one moment.
Sure.
Could you mute us, please? All right, so what we'll do is I am going to text the sheriff his case number and SID number
Perfect.
and put in a text message that it's about his medication, so he'll remember it. And then if you know your medications that you have from the state hospital, if you will give that to your attorney now, and then you, me, and the state, we can type it up right now and I'll email it right now before this hearing is done.
Okay, that sounds good. The other thing is, I was, of course, waiting for him to be back before I requested a sanity evaluation. And, but if he's having issues, I definitely want to make sure that he's stabilized and okay to undergo that. But it's been so long ago that I will have to double check. Usually when I file the request, I file for both competency.
Yeah, and they
sanity.
always, yeah.
But I think probably the safest thing would be for me to file separately, or if I can just make an oral motion to the court this morning.
All right, so do you still want the sanity eval?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, do you mind if I just email the court and let them know that there's going to be a sanity evaluation request?
I think that would expedite things greatly.
Okay. Even though we say expedite, it's still going to take a while.
I understand.
So let me put that in here. It's 8-1.
And Judge, if I could also just request if I could email and you can give me whatever email you want me to send it to, but I would feel a lot more comfortable checking the paperwork I have with regard to the medications.
Okay.
Rather than have someone just self-report the medications that they're taking, because I sure wouldn't want to get it wrong and have something ordered for him.
Everyone, please whisper.
I wouldn't want to have anybody ordering anything for him that he actually wasn't taking or something had changed. So I think I definitely want to have his doctors from the state hospital involved in at least confirming whatever medications he was on.
Okay.
Before that's ordered for him, but I will follow up on that because that's very important for him.
All right. And I've just sent the email to Judge Carruthers Court and to the coordinator there asking the sanity evaluation.
Great. And then I guess if there's an email or anybody that you want me to contact, and I can certainly loop you in as well as the prosecutor on any of the.
All right. If you could, once we finish here, if you could make sure you go down to Judge Carruthers Court to make sure that email didn't get lost.
Yeah, ma'am. I certainly will.
All right. And then if you will give me your email.
Sure.
And what I'll do is I'll send an email to to the sheriff now to let him know that you will be emailing him. Here we are. To let him know that you will be emailing him an update on your client and what medications your client is supposed to be taking. Norma, on Plea, can you put him on the same date as her other client, the 9th? I know this is not going to trial on the 9th, but we'll just put it on the 9th, so you'll be here for that as well.
That sounds great, Judge. Thank
Okay.
you. And then would you like me to include the court on the correspondence to the sheriff's office?
If you wish to,
It
you
might
can.
get their attention more.
Sure.
If it was just coming from me.
All right, no problem. So is there anything else?
No, Your Honor, that's it for now.
Any discovery issues?
He has multiple cases. So my answer to that at this point is I'm not sure.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll bring it back on the 9th, and that will be your discovery date, plus to see about the medication issues.
Thank you, Judge.
And if there's something that happens while you're on break and you want to email me, because my email will be included in this, just include the state in your email if there's an issue with the medications.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank
Is
you
there-
so much.
You're welcome. Is there anything else?
That's it.
All right, anything else you need?
Oh, no, man.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just have a seat, sir.
Okay. The reason I really think that that's, at first I was saying, yes, got set on, yes, on. I thought for that, but I've never talked to someone.
Oh, and Ms. Compton, I will tell you, Sheriff Salazar also told me there could be a possibility that they're giving him a generic or something else. So you may need to contact University Health Systems.
Yeah, my plan. I've had very poor luck with that, just
Okay.
because nobody will ever.
Oh, well, you know what? We'll subpoena them.
Well, I think probably my plan one will be to contact the
Mhm.
state hospital folks and just make sure that they can tell everybody that he needed.
Okay.
And if I have any issues, I know where to come.
All right, thank you. Yes. Mhm. Mhm. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right, just give me a moment. I'll take care of it.
No. But we can, we're gonna read.
They're done.
Okay. This one's done.
In the box. Samuel Vasquez. Samuel Vasquez.
Kathy, I'm also going to include Judge Carruthers in this since he does the mental health docket and maybe he knows someone.
Richard Rodriguez. 20. Brian Maldonado.
I'm present on that. It's CR 6252. I feel weird about it. Yeah. So that's why.
Arturo Villanueva. And counsel, you're on this side.
Oh, sorry.
All right, who's the prosecutor on Arturo Villanueva?
It's for the state, Your Honor.
Hello.
On behalf of Mr. Villanueva, Your Honor.
All right, we're set for jury trial.
That's correct.
All right, see y'all back at 11.
Judge, I have a motion before we, I would like to amend the indictment. I've showed this to you. Have you had an opportunity to look at this?
No.
Okay. So when we were conferring, I told you about it, but you
Yeah.
didn't look at it. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd like to amend the indictment. I've shown this to defense counsel and I served it on the file on December 1st.
All right, I have one that's e-filed from November 15th. Is there a different one?
There is a second, Judge. I did one, I did the state's amended motion to amend indictment, and I did state's second motion to amend indictment.
Mhm.
So what I'm changing here is I've broken out in the statute, there's two different ways you can do an FSRA.
Mhm.
And I've broken those out into paragraphs 1 and 2, and I also had the complaining witness's name spelled Christian CR with no H, so his name is spelled CHRISTIAN, and that was spelled incorrectly in the previous indictment.
All right, so with regards to the spelling of the name, that's not fatal to the indictment. So what are you seeking to change?
In count 1 in the
And we'll go on the record, counsel. I'm just trying to figure out what is the request.
so I've indicted this indictment, I'm sorry, I've amended this indictment once before.
Mhm.
And count 1 had all the 4 ways that you can fail to stop and render aid in one paragraph.
Mhm.
The amended indictment only has failing to stop and failing to return, and those are broken out into paragraph A and paragraph.
So are you saying that the state's second motion to amend indictment, the only change is you're dividing it?
Yes, ma'am. So it's in paragraph A, it's the date, the same date, it's the same offense alleged. But I did change the complaining witness's name to correct that, and then I separated out the 2 ways that you can failure to stop and render aid. So that's paragraph 1 is failing to stop. And I'm sorry, count 1, paragraph A is failing to stop, and count 1, paragraph B is failing to return to the scene. And I've abandoned the other ways that you can fail to stop and render aid, giving the defendant's name and address.
All right, are you going to have any objections to this amendment? It appears that it's the same. All he's doing is dividing it.
I haven't had a chance. I mean, this was on Friday, Your Honor. Here we are on a trial setting.
Well, no. I mean, here's the thing. It appears that what he has done is he's taking the indictment and he's just divided it, but it's the same thing. But if you want to confer over this, you can confer over this. If you have an objection to it, then we'll go to jury trial on the indictment as it appears. So if you all want to confer, but it appears from what he's telling me is he hasn't changed anything except the correct spelling of the name, which that's not a fatal error to the indictment that Christian is spelled with a CH as opposed to a CR. So if you all want to look over that, I think maybe he's trying to make, I'm making assumptions. Maybe he's trying to make it easier for the jury to follow. But what he has put in the amendment is the current indictment. It's just, he broke it down. But you all can confer over that.
And I abandoned the other ways too. so.
Yeah. And he abandoned some ways, but you all can confer over that. And if there's an objection to changing it, then we'll go to trial with it the way it is.
Tony?
Fair enough, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Yeah. Oh, you know why you couldn't find the purple folder? Because here it is. I'll put it in the purple folder. On this one, don't follow their way. They're not ready. Who's here? Richard Rodriguez. All right. Are you all ready to proceed? And we're going to be on the record. And this is no application. All right, court is going to call 2023 CR 7127, State of Texas versus Richard Rodriguez Jr. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor. Denny Callahan.
Are you Mr. Rodriguez? Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Rodriguez, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're waiving count one and the second enhancement paragraph. We're proceeding on count two with repeater, which would be the first enhancement, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
Mr. Rodriguez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes,
Did you
Your Honor.
understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on on count two with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. Normally, that's a second-degree felony, and that range of punishment will be anywhere from 2 to 20 years and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If the state is able to prove up the repeat offender enhancement allegation, then your range of punishment will be that of a first-degree felony, and the range will be anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason I do not follow your plea and give you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez, has anyone coerced you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 2. You are to agree that you've previously been convicted of a felony for purposes of enhancement. Punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's a $2,500 fine. There's no application for community supervision. State, this UUMV, is that 2023?
Yes, Your Honor, if you, I can correct it on this.
Yes, if you'll just write it in.
Zero right there.
Oh, no problem. The state will take in consideration 2023 CR 7127, 2023 CR 72,
Yeah, Your Honor,
yes,
let me put that back in.
okay,
No problem.
no problem. Oh, yeah, the 7127. All right, so the record is clear. 2023 CR 7127 is not the case that's being taken in consideration. That's the case that you're pleading to. Do you understand?
Sure.
All right, thank you. No problem.
Now it's correct.
All right, so the state will be taking in consideration 2023 CR 7289, 2023 CR 7290, and 709582. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, there have been such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as listed in count 2, how do you plead true? Or I'm sorry, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No concept.
And to the enhancement repeater paragraph, which states, and it is further presented in and to said court that before the commission of the offense alleged above, hereinafter style the primary offense on the 22nd day of May AD 2007 and cause number 2006 CR 5571 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant was convicted of the felony of possession of a controlled substance. Penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams. How do you plead? True or not true?
True,
I'm sorry?
true, Your Honor.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Your Honor. State exhibit number 1 with all of its attachments.
No objection.
All right, you may continue to confirm. Mr. Rodriguez, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. And the court will find the enhancement true based upon your plea of true and based upon states exhibits 1 and attachments. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I ask the court respectfully to follow the plea agreement.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 10 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $2,500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. Take in consideration 2023 CR 7289, 2023 CR 7290, and 709,582. And of course, as I've already stated, I found the enhancement paragraph true. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. If you would like, I can have you referred to the therapeutic community. I have no control over it. But if you have a drug or alcohol issue, they may be able to help you with that. Would you like that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, that's fine. All right, we can go off the record. How old are you?
47.
47. All right. You're going to have to make some choices in your life. I know that 10 years is a long time, or even 1 year or 1 day is a long time.
Yes, ma'am.
But you need to sit and think about how you got to where you are and whether or not you want to continue to be where you are.
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck. All right, good luck to
Yeah, all
you.
right. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Adriana, I'm missing one of the files for Rodriguez. It's this one. So if y'all find it, if you find it. All right, thank you. Dylan Parker. And oh, I'm sorry, just 1 second. The immigration issue. Brian Maldonado, because that one has an interpreter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Hello, okay, on this case, today is the plea deadline date.
Judge, could I be heard real quick?
Sure.
This is Hank Wilkin. Are we on the record?
No, we're not.
Okay, Judge, last year, we have, there's some videos in this case that are in Spanish that I've submitted to the interpreters to be translated. I got an email on November 28th, so last Tuesday, that they believe the translations of the videos in this case will be finished by the 15th of January. But then I will still need to file the notice, and then I have to give defense 45 days. So we are asking for a reset until 45 days after the 15th. So maybe
Okay, so here's my question, and if I'm being unreasonable, let me know. But with regards to the translation of those documents, the translation is specifically for legal reason for if this goes to trial. So, but defense counsel speaks Spanish. His client speaks Spanish. Have you all had a chance to review the videos?
I have, Your Honor.
All right, so We'll focus on that when we get to the trial, if they want a
Oh,
jury trial, yes. So today's the plea deadline date. So does he want a jury trial?
That is my understanding, Your Honor.
All right. So now that we know, he wants a jury trial. Is that correct, Mr. Maldonado?
Yes.
All right. So your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. So Norma, they're saying that the transcription of the videos are not going to be available till January 15th. How long do y'all expect this trial to last?
1 day, Judge. 1.5 days.
All right. And I'm assuming you're not waiving your 45 days with regards to the transcripts.
No, I will not.
All right. So Ms. Ferguson, just to be on the safe side, can you set this 45 days out from January 15th? And they're telling me that this is a 1-day trial. Yes, from January 15th.
Your Honor,
Yes.
can we put it down for 2 days?
Okay, sure. March 5th.
March 5th?
March 5th. All right. All right. Once your client signs the reset form, you are excused. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
For your
Yes,
statement.
sure.
I believe there's another case too.
Okay. All right. Thank you. You need me to fill out the one for today? Okay. All right. Thank you. You're welcome. No, I don't have, the file I have left is Dylan Parker. Is the attorney here for Dylan Parker?
Yes, Your Honor.
If y'all approach, please.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. And counsel, you're on this side. Yeah. All right. Who's the prosecutor on Dylan Parker? All right. So where are we on discovery?
We have discovered, Your Honor, state's made a reasonable offer, but Mr. Parker informed me he's a veteran and we'd like to be referred to Veterans Treatment Court.
Well, what I can tell you, Veterans Treatment Court, they are not doing any reviews or anything until the new year. So what I can do, Bianca, do you have Herman's number? Are you able to call him up?
Yes.
Could you call him? And then they'll at least be able to put you on the list. All right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
So Ms. Ferguson, on this case, can we set it in the new year? And it's for Veterans Treatment Court.
I can do January 5th.
All right, we'll put it for January 5th. And counsel, if there's a different date that Herman suggests when he comes up, we'll change it. But if you all will please remain, she's gonna call him and he'll come right up.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, awesome. Do we have the interpreter on Guzman?
Yes.
All right, Fraulein Guzman Velasquez. All right. Who's the attorney?
Raphael.
Okay. Hi. All right, we're set for jury trial. And he's dressed for trial.
And Judge, it's the same situation with the other defendant. We have the translations. They said that the translations should be done by the end of this week. He was the co-defendant with Eric, I can't remember the last name, Gonzalez Lopez.
All right, whose translation is it?
It's the translation of the defendant's statement and the co-defendant statement.
So can't we do jury selection and then you have the translation? This case has been going on for a while now.
I know, Judge, there was a lot of translations that were involved in this case. Again, we can't use the certified copy unless he has the proper notice.
All right. Mr. Leo,
I'd like to have those translations, George. Can we receive them?
Ferguson, what day did you put the other trial on?
January the 9th, George.
All right, January 9th, jury trial. And we're proceeding with or without the translations on January 9th. Okay. And I'm sorry, just one more. So Mr. Guzman, your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreement after today without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, George.
You're welcome.
And I don't know.
Maybe excuse your honor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Who's here on Christian Torres Lugo? All right, there's no application. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 9277, State of Texas versus Christian Torres Lugo. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jacob Garahan, your honor.
Defense?
Attorney Bill Simmons for defense.
All right, are you Mr. Lugo?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Lugo, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, we are.
Mr. Lugo, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of robbery? Excuse me. So people are in the box. If you want to speak to your clients, we're on the record. You'll have to move them down to the other end. Otherwise, it interferes with the court reporter. All right, you're charged with the offense of robbery. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, he does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, he is and was, Your Honor.
Mr. Lugo, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishments be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There's a $2,500 fine. State will take in consideration JN 2141171. There's to be restitution to Shane, SHANE Gilbert, GILBERT, and cause number JN 2141171. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Going to show you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State exhibit number 1 with office attachments.
No objection.
All right, you may continue to confer.
Thank you, Judge.
Showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right. State,
Yes, Your
so in this case, is the complainant aware
Honor.
of the plea?
I haven't talked to the complainant and my advocate has reached out, but we haven't talked to them.
Okay, so you've reached out to them though?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I wanted to be sure of that.
Yes.
All right. Court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We would just respectfully ask the court to follow the plea agreement.
All right, who is Candace Lee Morales to you?
That's my child's mother.
All right, the court will find you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration JN 2141171. There's to be restitution to Shane Gilbert and JN number 2141171. There's a $2,500 fine. Time and money to run concurrent. There's to be no contact with Candace, CANDACE, Lee Morales. I'm going to show you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you,
If we may, and that was a sign off, we thought that there was no contact with the alleged victim. But we would ask the court to consider a no harmful or injurious contact order, given that that's the mother of his child.
all right, so here's the thing, Mr. Torres, I read the police report. It appears that you probably should not be having contact with her. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And the reason why is they're both involved in this. And he has a child with her. And obviously he's not a good influence on the child. And she's allowing him to be around a child that he's not a good influence on. It's not good to commit robberies with the mother of your child. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled trial court certification of, yes.
Just one other question, Your Honor, for his clarification, but the duration, would that be for the duration of the term?
Yes,
So in other words. 2 years.
but I will tell you what's going to end up happening. If you're paroled, they're going to have a no contact order in place. And honestly, you know yourself better than I do, better than your attorney does. Here you are with a tattoo. Is that a tattoo of AK-47 on your forehead or something?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you know better than I do whether or not you're in a good influence on your child. How old is your child?
2 and 3. Or
Alright.
2 and 1. They're about to be
All right, they're 2 and 1. Boys or girls?
boys.
All right, they're 2 boys. Would you want them to look up to you as you are now?
No, man.
Do you want your 2-year-old or soon to be 1-year-old getting a tattoo or AK-47 on them?
No, man.
All right, you're not a good influence for the children. The best thing for you to do is, one, when you get out of prison, try to have them remove that AK-47 and the other tattoos that are associated with gang life or associated with violence, and then get a job, get your education, and be somebody that's a positive influence in your son's life. Because otherwise, you know, children learn to speak. You know how they learn to speak? From listening to people around them talk. That's how they learn to speak. So when you see children who are using profanity, you know why they're using profanity? Because the adults around them using profanity. And it goes the same way with actions. If children see people being violent, they learn, oh, this is natural. This is normal. We're supposed to be violent. If people see you with a tattoo, your children see you with a tattoo of an AK-47 on your forehead, guess what your children start thinking? Well, this is normal. This is natural. I should get a tattoo, an AK-47 on my forehead. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. So what possessed you to get a tattoo of an AK-47 on your forehead? Why do you have the angel of death tattoo? What's going on in your wall?
I was young. I got these face tattoos when I was like 15.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, so what are you planning on doing when you get out of prison?
Going to work, construction. I have when I was younger, I went to trade school for construction.
All right. So here's the thing. You're gonna have to start doing better. Otherwise, you're gonna end in and out of somebody's jail, in and out of somebody's prison. 2 years is a long time. I personally think 1 day is a long time as well. Do not go to that prison and get institutionalized. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Alberto Soto. Can I see the file on that, please?
Cancel it, Judge?
Hmm?
You want to cancel him?
Is he set for jury trial?
No, he's a PSI.
Okay, so. All right, they're saying that he's having a medical issue.
He also, the Veterans Court, he was referred over for Veterans Court. I don't know what happened on that. I think.
Oh, it's
John-
probably a no-go based upon his charge.
Could be. As a matter of fact, you wanted him referred over there last time.
Yeah.
And so, I think John in charge of it's gonna be here in about 15 minutes.
All right,
But
so,
other than that, it's a PSI.
all right, so we may have to call him for this afternoon. Do they have medical that will come here, or do we need to send him?
Yes, he's refusing to be seen by the ambulance service, Your Honor. He is downstairs.
All right, then obviously his shortness of breath is not affecting him if he's refusing to be seen. So we can bring him up for sentencing. I mean, he doesn't want to be seen by anyone. There's nothing we can do when people don't want to be seen by medical.
Me, I'll just, hey, that's nice. I'm not.
All right, and oh, Mr. Leal was in the box.
Supposed to help me there.
Point the Veterans Court proceedings. Veterans Court.
Hi, who's here for Veterans Court? Let me see.
Oh, there it is.
This.
Just go through.
Yeah, that's attorney and then the other attorney.
There's another one in jail.
And he's having shortness of breath, but he doesn't want to be seen by anyone.
How you doing?
Are you already on Patrick Jenkins?
I am ready, Your Honor, to make an announcement.
All right, where's Mr. Jenkins?
He's in the second row.
All right, come forward.
Okay.
All right, so where are we on this case with discovery?
I cannot open discovery, Your Honor. I tried again this morning. I still don't have it. There's been a pretty quick turnaround from he's made two bonds. One, in his home state of Virginia on this at-large arrest. Two, he came down last week, to clear the warrant here, which he did. And then there was a very quick turnaround, to get to court today. He stayed in the area. I haven't been able to access discovery.
All right, state. He can't access discovery. Is there a reason for that?
I'm not sure, Judge, but I will look into that.
I think it may be because of the clearing of the warrants within the last 2 weeks, two different warrants.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you can set this for, is this a complicated case? It doesn't appear to be.
It's not, Your Honor. It's fairly straightforward. We've had productive discussions.
All right, so you all will need to confer off docket. If there's a discovery issue, we'll take it up, of course. But Ms. Ferguson, can you set this late January for a plea deadline date?
Yes, ma'am, I can do the 29th.
All right, so January 29th.
And just to be clear, Your Honor, I'm just to make sure I understand, this is our first setting. And I don't have discovery, so the plea deadline date, that's the next one.
It could potentially change.
Okay,
But if you all get discovery between now and then, and you have all the discovery, then your plea deadline date will be January 29th.
yes, ma'am.
If you all tell me there's an issue with discovery, then we will see where we are. But if there's still an issue with him downloading discovery on January 29th, y'all will need to bring him hard copies.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and where does your client live?
He lives in Virginia, but his intention as of this morning was to quote, stay here until this case is resolved. I don't think he quite had the idea of what the timeline would be. So do you intend to go back to Virginia or to stay here? Okay, Your Honor, looking at, he lives here for now, but his residence is in Virginia.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm looking at my schedule that week. I have to be in Comal County for a sentencing on the 29th, and I know the court doesn't have.
When is your
Dockets.
sentencing?
It's at 9 a.m. on the 29th.
All right, are you able to come here in the afternoon?
I am.
All right, so Norma, Mr. Jenkins will be set on the 29th. And we'll say the afternoon, but whenever you finish, just come and
Okay.
just let us know you come.
I'll be in contact with Mr. Jenkins as I have been
Okay.
for a month or so.
All right.
Thank you. May he go be seated, Your Honor?
Yes, once he signs the reset form, he's excused.
Okay, let's do that. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And you all let me know when you're ready on Alberto Soda. Yes, I do. What page is he on?
Except for Thursday, they came.
Ah, okay. I was wondering why I could not find him on the docket. Joseph Montemoreno. All right, counsel, there he is. Oh, your attorney probably needs to speak to you, or do you want to approach? Okay, sure. Thank you.
Here he is, Your Honor.
All right. Jordan Summers. Jordan Summers.
Mr. Soto right here.
Hello, sir. Hi, where's Ross Rodriguez? Hi, here's your client. Who's the client? I'm sorry, Ron Ross. I know. Yes, this is, he's here. Yes. Hello, how are you doing?
No, good.
They told me you were having a little bit of shortness of breath.
Oh, yeah, allergies.
Oh, so it's allergies.
Yeah, but I get it real bad.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, they were ready to call 911
I
and,
know.
but you told them not to,
Oh,
so,
no.
okay.
All right, thank you.
Are parties ready for sentencing?
Judge, the Veterans Court, John is outside talking to someone else to see, he'll come back in a minute and talk to me about
Okay, sure.
this man, so if we could wait till he comes back.
All right, of course. Sure.
Good morning.
Good morning.
He seems like a good candidate. We're gonna let the he's on Sunday, it's gonna be 14, we're gonna get everything probably just one talking about. So we have something else, which we can't stop with.
Okay, so I think he's been set for January 9th.
5th.
5th. All right, is January 5th a good date or
Yes,
should?
ma'am, we will rush as fast as we can.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank
Thank you,
you.
Your Honor. May we be excused?
Yes, and then Herman, we have him.
Albert Soto, yes.
Do you need to see his? The eval? Okay. All right, everyone, we have a jury coming up at 11. So whatever you have, you need to start getting it done now.
Okay. We're all set.
Ken Brown. All right, this set for jury trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Then, is there anything else? All right, we'll see you at 11.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thanks. They're not done with that. They're just coming back. All right, LaChasha Jenkins. And state, is this just a plea on one case?
It is a plea on both. We'll TIC the other.
Okay,
Or that's the proposed version.
so you all are just going on one case for a plea, correct?
Correct.
All right, and counsel, you're on this side. Court is calling 2023 CR 6843, State of Texas versus LaTasha Jenkins. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
And for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Rafael Leal for Natasha Jenkins.
And are you Miss Jenkins?
Yes, ma'am.
And Norma, I'm gonna need a PSI date. February 1st. Mhm.
January 4th.
All right, January 4th. Probation, this is an application.
Yes, Judge, thank you.
All right, counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, sir.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Jenkins, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, sir.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Ms. Jenkins, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
In the indictment, you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow that plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
She does.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe so, Judge.
Ms. Jenkins, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No,
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
no, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, state is silent on your application. They're taking in consideration 2022 CR 3280. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Andre Carruthers, COROTHERS. There's to be no contact with Tiffany Sansom, SANSOM. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, sir.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states one and attachments.
No objection.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports?
Yes, ma'am.
Most importantly, there will be no live testimony.
Yes, ma'am.
State, have you had a chance to speak to the complainant?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, I apologize. With respect to the complainants on the CTD side, I know they made several attempts. They were unable to reach that complainant. On our side, the complainant had 2 cases pending in Barrett County. Since those were closed about 6 weeks ago, we've made attempts and we're unable to reach the complainant. But we made attempts for both, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You may continue to confer.
Thank you, Judge.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. We will come back on January 4th. At that time, I'll make a decision on your application based upon the PSI report and any other evidence that's presented. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there going to be a request for a TAP evaluation as well?
Yes, Your Honor, and I also am requesting, my client has been unable, I believe there is no bond set on one of the 2 cases. So I'd like to have a bond set, given that that the situation has changed. My client has admitted responsibility, and the state is going silent for punishment purposes. I would like to apply for the court or to the court to grant either a PR or a low bond.
All right, PR bond will not be granted, but what I can tell you is, if you file the motion, we will have Judge Nahara hear it as well. But if she makes bond, when she makes bond, it's gonna push back her PSI date. Ms. Ferguson, can you give her a reset form just in case she makes bond? All right, all right, is there anything else?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome.
Yes, can we approach?
Yes. Are you all ready?
Well, we're ready to talk.
All right, what do you want to talk to me about?
Veterans Court is.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
So, Mr. Soto is working at the University of
Mhm.
He has submitted a letter. It's gotten lost in the Bear County mail system, but I did just call the mail people. They do have on it. So I'm gonna pick it up. He has not been able to obtain or get a DD report from his attorney, so I'm gonna step in to see if I can talk to Jackie today about it. So that's the final piece that we're missing. I do have the VA coming through this week, one for the on-call docket on Thursday. So once I get that DD report from hopefully today, I can screen them once everyone's clear, and then I'll be able to have another on this quickly as possible. But I did double check again with Daryl Anthony, still getting all clear for so as long as I get the final email, we'll be good with the DD report.
Okay, and so do you all think he's going to be accepted?
For me, yes, that's just my group, yes.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can we set this the same date as the other case?
Yes.
In January?
Okay, and if I have some sooner, Your Honor, can I come by and let you know?
Yes. Will that be January 5th? All right, Mr. Soto, if you can come forward. And state on Mr. Soto.
Yeah.
And probation on Mr. Soto, they're still looking into the VTC. And state on this one, I know that you're silent, so this is gonna come back on January 5th.
Okay.
And so what we're just waiting on is information from Veterans Treatment Court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I understand that you probably wanted this to be taken care of today, but it's probably in your best interest that it be reset for me to get more information for them. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead. Jackie is your counselor, right?
Okay, we'll talk.
Garcia?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Ron Ross.
Basically, Judge. Do I need to sign a reset or not?
Oh, no.
Good, okay, thank you, ma'am.
Eros Rodriguez. And then after Eros Rodriguez, it's gonna be Jordan Summers and then Johnny Lamone. All right. And he's in the center.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge.
That's okay. All right, so this is set for jury trial.
We do have some more translations, Judge. There's a lot of translations going on today and last week. So I have submitted those to the translators. The email I got last week said that those would take 3 to 4 weeks. And if we wanted to use those, either if we wanted to or defense wanted to use them for impeachment.
Do you want to proceed without the translations?
Sure. I mean, I would be comfortable with it, yes.
All right. So we'll put on the record that you all want to proceed without translation. And then we'll see where we fall on the jury trial docket.
What would you like us to do, Judge?
Well, we're gonna have a jury up here at 11.
So come back at 11.
Yes, it's 10:44, but I'd say 11:15 because, well, probably 11:30 because it takes them a while to line them up and get them in order.
Okay. So
Right.
to be clear, the court is going to be picking a jury today on Mr. Rodriguez's case.
We will be picking a jury today on a case.
On a case, okay.
Yes.
Okay,
All right.
I'll return, Judge.
All right. Thank you. Jordan Summers. All right. Probation, this is an application. Court is calling 2023 CR 6579, State of Texas versus Jordan Summers. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Glenn Payne for defense.
And are you Ms. Summers?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Summers, did you review and sign a document entitled Application for Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're waiving count 1, proceeding on count 2 with its enhancement.
And you're going on the enhancement?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, sorry.
Oh, no problem. Any objection to the waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Summers, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
And count 1, you're charged with the offense of possession of controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams. That's a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If the state is able to prove up the enhancement, your range of punishment will be 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes,
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
in my opinion, yes.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, yes.
Ms. Summers, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea? Off the record. All right, y'all need to move to this end. If you want to talk to your client, you need to move to this end. All right, Ms. Summers, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on count 2. You agree that you've been previously convicted of a felony for purposes of enhancement.
Yes, ma'am.
Punishments be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. State recommends community supervision. They're taking in consideration NIMAG number 682-729-737-478. There's to be restitution to Live Oak for drug testing and to complainants and NIMAG numbers 682-729-737-478. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State.
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 10 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 250 hours community service restitution, no contact with the complainants, and NIMAG number 682-729 and 787-478. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged in count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
And to the enhancement paragraph, which reads, and it is further presented in and to said court that before the commission of the offense alleged above on March 6, 2020, and cause number 2015 CR 11078 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant was convicted of the felony of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams. How do you plead? True or not true?
True.
State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. State exhibit number 1 with all those attachments.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
You may continue to confer.
Thank you.
Going to show you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and also the court will find the enhancement true. based upon your plea of true and based upon states exhibits 1 and attachments. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yeah, I've spoken to my client. She's currently, has got a job. She's in my opinion, the right frame of mind to complete this probation successfully, given the tools. She understands that she needs some tools and a little bit of help. And we're just gonna, of course, grant her the probation, as we've agreed to.
All right, who is Cody Ring?
That is an old friend from a few years ago. I don't
All right.
negotiate with them.
And where do you work? I mean, well, what do you do?
I'm a PCA at Northeast Baptist Hospital.
What do you do there?
I'm a patient care associate, so I take vitals and pretty much clean up after the patients. Specialize in nursing, and it's in the emergency room, so it's a progressive care unit is where I'm located, so.
All right, if you're drug tested today and know you're gonna be drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
So probably dirty.
Dirty for what?
Nothing.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you what I have a problem with. And I think you already know.
We did discuss the possibility.
All right, because people who are using drugs really shouldn't be caring for vulnerable people. And I guarantee you, anybody who loves their relative, if they knew you were using meth, they would not want you taking care of them, be it drawing blood or anything of that nature. So she can't work there. She needs to get a job. I mean, is she telling that company, hey, I'm currently using drugs?
Of course not, Judge, but would the court consider doing zero tolerance drug test now? I mean, she's been working there 3 months and they've kept her on, and she does have a history. So they hired her and it is a very decent job.
But do they know that she's currently using drugs? Because the problem is, if she's using drugs and there are patients there that need drugs, then she could potentially end up taking their drugs. I'm not saying that that's what's happening, but people need to stop hiring people to be home healthcare providers, draw people's blood and do all of this when they have all of these things in their past and they're still doing the same thing. So her history, obviously she's a repeater, which means she's been to prison for drugs. And now she's coming out and she's picking up another drug case and she's currently using drugs. Did you just come from work?
No, ma'am, I'm going to work. Yeah, but not anymore.
So, yeah.
And we did discuss the possibility before.
All right. Do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
All right. Who do you live with?
My aunt.
Okay. I mean, once she becomes clean and sober, the court will reconsider things. But I'm sure maybe that company needed somebody and they were taking a chance on her. But my role, I feel like my role, part of it is protecting the community. And I can't, in good conscience, have you being in the position that you're in with vulnerable people and you're using. You understand? So when's the last time you used meth?
This weekend, the one that just passed, probably Saturday.
All right, it'll be more than Saturday if it's still in your system. Other than meth, are you using anything else? Okay. All right. Yes.
Pardon, just so would you consider allowing her to go and speak to her employee? Maybe take a week off or have a clean drug test? Maybe they'll give her a week off to continue the position.
I mean,
And you can routinely.
I can't trust that. I mean, if they want to come in and say, we know that she's using meth, we know A, B, and C, I'll consider it, but I'm not inclined to grant it because somebody has to protect the vulnerable people in society. So, I mean, you can't use meth and take care of people. You can't use meth and take care of elderly people because they're vulnerable. You can't use meth and take care of children because they're vulnerable. All right, so this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 10 years in prison, suspended and probated for 10 years. And if you start doing well on probation, I can always consider different things, but wherever you work, they need to be given a heads up and given a true rendition of where you are in your life. You understand? So there's going to be a $1,500 fine that will be probated. proof of employment within 30 days, and your client was late for court today. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Take in consideration NIMAC number 6822729, 737478. There's to be restitution, if any, to Live Oak for drug testing. If you feel like they're asking for too much for that, we can have a hearing on it. And restitution, if any, and cause numbers, NIMAC number 6822729, 737478. We can do a TAP eval while out of custody. Whatever the TAP evaluation recommends, we're going to start with intensive outpatient treatment. And we can do a referral to felony drug court. They have a wait list, but maybe they're going to do a graduation soon. There is to be no contact with Cody King and the complainants, and NIMAC numbers 6822729, 737478. There's to be 250 hours of community service restitution. The court will not waive those hours. You need to do those hours. Field visits, 1 time per month until she's in treatment. And then thereafter, it'll be at probation's discretion. There's to be regular random UAs. And I'm going to want 90 sober meetings in 90 days. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Ms. Summers, I'm not trying to be cruel or mean to you by saying you can't work in that field. But if you think about it honestly, if you had your aunt or some relative that you loved, you wouldn't want somebody who's using to be taking care of them, right? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Johnny Lamone. Are you all proceeding on this motion to revoke?
No, we have a motion to set down.
Okay. Are there any witnesses? All right, court is calling 2023 CR 4352, State of Texas versus Johnny Lamone. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Robert Barons.
And are you Mr. Lamone?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the defense is requesting a motion for a bond to be set. State, have you had a chance to review the motion?
Yes, Judge.
Are you prepared to proceed on the motion?
Yes, Judge.
All right, any witnesses from either side?
No, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
All right, then the court will hear argument.
Well, Judge, we did speak about this motion beforehand. The
Mhm.
state and the defense did come to an agreement for a $10,000 bond in this case.
All right, and because the defendant is on probation, for the record, the court has had a chance to review what would be the appropriate conditions in this case, and the court has had a chance to review the previous TAP evaluation, so the court knows the issue. All right, the court will agree to set your bond at $10,000. And you are currently on probation, so you're going to need to check in with your probation officer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And so the minute you're released, you need to check in with your probation officer on the next business day. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. He's set for 14th. All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you will make sure he has a reset form. And we're going to address this motion on December 14th. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else, counsel?
Well, yes, Judge, as far as addressing the motion on the 14th, he does have new cases as well, so. And those just got transferred over here because you have there's several co-defendants and you have co-defendants with lower JN, so.
All right, we'll see you all back on the 14th. All right, thank you.
Give him a reason.
All right, Eros Rodriguez. Who's here on Eros Rodriguez? Oh, this is coming back at 11. Thank you. Jack Bernal.
Present, Judge.
All right. Mr. Bernal? Let me find him on the docket. All right, Mr. Bernal, thank you for dressing appropriately for court,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
but you were late for court.
Yes,
Would you like to be brought over in orange?
no, Your Honor. I was in a different courtroom. I mistaken.
All right, so now you know where it is, right?
Of course.
All right, where are we with discovery on this case?
Judge, they are going to download the latest labs from me,
Okay,
and they made me an offer.
okay.
And of course, this is our first setting.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you give them a 30-day reset?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, January 16th is going to be your plea deadline date. On that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jose Efron Carrion. Pantoja. All right,
That is actually Mr. Garcia's case.
yes.
The defendant is a Spanish speaker. Mr. Garcia is starting at 226.
Mhm.
It was my understanding that we were about to do something else. We received the plea bargain. What we'd like to do is have you recall it for Thursday or Friday. That way we can set up an ICS visit.
All right, can you have your client come forward? Hello, Mr. Pantoja. How are you doing today?
Muy bien.
All right. All right, Mr. Pantoja, we're going to call you back on Thursday. Norma, if we can have him come back on the 7th.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any questions? All right. So we'll bring you back on the 7th.
That would be great, Judge. Thank you. We'll schedule that ICS right away.
All right. Thank you.
Judge.
Norma, what page is he on?
Page 13.
All right. Thank you. Rogelio Lara. All right, Mr. Lara, you're set for jury trial. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else from this judge?
No, that's it. Just remain here. Oh, you all need to fill out the acknowledgement of discovery.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Roland Diaz.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, this is a plea no application. Court is calling 2023 CR 9063B, State of Texas versus Roland Diaz. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense.
Good morning, Frankie Sandoval on behalf of Mr. Diaz.
All right, are you Roland Diaz? All right, counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Diaz, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're proceeding on count one and waiving count two.
Any objection to the waiver?
No objection, Judge.
Mr. Diaz, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand in count one, you're charged with the offense of aggravated robbery? That's a first-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do believe so, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Diaz, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promise you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to plea, punishments to be assessed at 20 years in the prison. The state is proceeding on count one. There's an affirmative. Well, if I find that there is a deadly weapon, do you understand that the court will enter an affirmative finding of deadly weapon?
Sure.
The state will run this concurrent with 2021 CR 1482, taking consideration 2023 CR 9065A, 2023 CR 9064B, and 2023 CR 9066A. Did you understand that was the plea? State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea? Affirmative finding of deadly weapon. No problem. Did you review the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph with your attorney? Oh, they need to initial. Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
There have been motions, Your Honor, but none ruled upon.
Then to the offense as charged in count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? I'm sorry?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State operates the one and all happens.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
State, you may continue to confer. Going to show you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Sure.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor, in the interest of justice.
All right, the court will find you guilty, sentence you to 20 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. This will run concurrent with 2021 CR 1482. Take in consideration 2023 CR 9065A, 2023 CR 9064B, 2023 CR 906AA. There's to be no contact with Cornelia Childress, Demetrius, Demitresse, Erkson, Erskion, Tiffany Hernandez, Richard Montalongo, Karen Salazar, or any Cricket store. Anything else with regards to sentencing?
That would restrict the census to your own.
Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am. I did.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're now going to proceed in 2021 CR 1482. Did you review the documents entitled, I need a person from the state? Did you review the documents entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision and First Amended Motion to Revoke Community Supervision and Second Amended Motion to Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Roland Diaz who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 1482 for the offense of robbery on June 2nd, 2021 for a term of 8 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 1, on or about the 21st day of October 2022 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Roland Diaz, committed the offense of aggravated robbery in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, the state waives all the violations.
Any objections to the state's waiver?
No, Judge.
All right, and on this one, I need a trial court certification.
I'll get you one, Judge.
All right. Mr. Diaz, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1? I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, 10 years TDC.
Is that the agreement, counsel?
It is, Judge.
Mr. Diaz, are you asking the court to follow that plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then the court will follow your plea. The court will grant the motion, revoke you, sentence you to 10 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with cause number 2023 CR 9063B. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Thank you. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Diaz, you're gonna have to start making better choices. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
I'll take care of Mr. Diaz.
And Diana, don't worry, I will give you a break before we start. I haven't forgotten about you.
Judge, may I approach on a reset?
Just a second, you're going order.
Excuse me.
Philip. Thank you.
All right, who's here on Jennifer Mares?
Nicole Thornborough for the state, and I believe the defense is about to lock back in. We're gonna be requesting a term unsat on it after conferring this afternoon.
Okay.
I think before there were going to be 4 witnesses and some argument, so.
Okay.
You just stepped
All
into
right,
the
where
room
is
just to
he?
tell them that.
All right, so I'll take you up in just a
Okay.
second, unless he's coming in now.
Let me grab.
Okay. So are you all requesting that the motion be withdrawn and she be terminated unsat?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So I'm assuming you are saying that she cannot pay and you're finding that she cannot pay?
Your Honor, yes, and we've talked to probation, and our understanding from probation, I know probation officer sick and unable to be here, is that the amount that they requested of her every single month throughout her probation, she paid that on time every single month, never missing a payment. And so she actually, as far as what they had ever requested of her, they never adjusted the amounts, which ended up in a shortage as well. And so the probation officer represented to me that she was a model probationer and that everything that was requested of her was done. And so in light of the full picture of this particular case, that's why we're coming forward to you for it.
All right, well, what I can tell you is she was placed on probation, not by me, because this is from 2013. You still owe people money that you stole from, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I have a limited jurisdiction, and my jurisdiction is 10 years. So you've been on probation for 10 years.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so if you'll file the motion to withdraw then, and it will be a terminated unsat. Any objections to terminating unsatisfactorily?
No, Your Honor, no objection.
All right. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who's here on Pablo Rodriguez? Pablo Rodriguez? Who's here on Ricky Perez?
I am, Your Honor.
Probation, there's no application. State is calling 2023 CR 7220, State of Texas versus Ricky Perez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Commissioner Second to the defense.
And are you Ricky Perez?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, in defense, can you pronounce your name again, please?
Ricky Pettis.
No, defense, can you pronounce your name again for the record?
Christopher Simpkins.
All right, thank you. And the reason why I asked, I'm reading the court reporter's record, and I think you said it too quickly. All right. Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Pettis, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Right. Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yeah.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Pettis, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I did, yes, I did.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of theft under $2,500 enhanced? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, I do.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
I understand that.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
I understand.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
I do, Judge.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes,
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he is and was.
Mr. Pettis, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Absolutely.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, sir. Yes, I do understand.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 102 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. There are no applications. State will take in consideration 2023 CR 7219 and NIMEG number 734-805. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense is at the plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
There are not, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to present?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 and the attachments.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
State, you may continue to confer.
Thank you, Judge.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
That's correct. Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, in all appropriate places.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I believe he has 102 days credit in Bexar County Jail. We just ask that you follow the plea bargain and satisfy the judgment.
All right. Court will find you guilty, sentence you to 102 days under Bexar County Jail, in the Bexar County Jail on 1244. Take in consideration 2023 CR 7219, NIMEG number 734-805, and there's to be no contact with any HEB. You're gonna have to find some other place to shop. You understand?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Gonna show you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Pettis, I see that you went to the pastry question of HEB and just start taking things that don't belong to you. You're not allowed to steal. I don't care if you're hungry. If you haven't had any foods, you're not allowed to steal. It's better to ask, hey, I don't have any money. HEB does do charity work. There's the Salvation Army. There's the food bank. There are plenty of places to go if you want something to eat other than stealing. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Joel Castillo.
It's just a reset.
All right. So when are you asking?
I've conferred with the state and we have received an offer. We just need additional time so that he can take some classes up front. If you would set it for plea deadline, that would be great.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have this for a plea deadline date in the new year?
Yeah, I could do. Let's do the 18th.
All right, January 18th. Once you sign the reset form, you are excused. That will be your plea deadline date. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thanks for dressing appropriately for court.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Norma, what page is he on?
He is on 14 Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Pablo Rodriguez. Pablo Rodriguez.
He never, just the same section, he's gonna have any contact with him, judge, or anything, he's gonna come back.
All right, well, when Joseph states has come back, we'll put it on the record. Arturo Villanueva, that's the one that we're waiting, that's trial.
Yes, Judge, I did have another motion. So, Judge, I believe you were, we had a visiting judge when I filed the first motion to amend the indictment. And so, my recollection of that is that I had the motion to amend the indictment. Defense counsel objected. Judge said, well, if he wants to amend it, he can amend it, but you get your 10 days. However, in the court's file, there is no signed order for that motion. So it's, so what I have now is I filed the state's third motion to amend the indictment, Judge, which is saying I want to change from the originally filed indictment to the language that we spoke about earlier this morning. The difference between the original indictment and this one is that the language we have in JD, that system we use to make indictments, doesn't allege a mental state. Case law later says that you have to allege a mental state for failure to stop and render aid. Our language doesn't have that in our original indictment the way it's filed. It does have it in the state's third motion to amend. So I'm asking the court to amend that. I believe defense still has an objection to that. And I'm sorry, one more thing.
All right, so we'll end up taking that on the record if you all will just have a seat. We'll get to it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have a highlighter? Does anybody have a highlighter? All right. So these are the people who are up for trial. Ed Shaughnessy with Jasmine Hardaway.
Yes, ma'am.
Raymond Martinez with Jose Lozano.
Present with counsel, Your Honor.
Arlene Gay with Kenan Brown. Daniel De La Garza with Pete Garcia. Monthe Moreno, I'm sorry.
Pete Garcia is going to be a plea.
Okay, Pete Garcia is going to be a plea. All right, thank you. If y'all will get that paperwork together.
Working on it right now, Judge.
All right, and then, did we complete Joseph Monthe Moreno with Mr. Simmons?
No, he was a no-show.
All right, so,
He's here.
yes,
He did
okay.
check in with us, so I have him down at the no-show with the warrant.
Okay, so Joseph Monthe Moreno, Myra Gallegos with Shannon Locke, Eros Rodriguez with Mr. Toshi, Arturo Villanueva, and I'll make sure I take up your guys' motion. Latasha Jenkins, that was a plea. Richard Rodriguez, that was a plea, correct?
Yes.
And then on that page, we have Stephen Rose.
Present with counsel.
All right.
We also have Rogelio Lara. Right in the middle, Judge.
All right, and Rogelio Lara with Sergio Ibarra. We have Pete Garcia with Keith Engelkey.
Judge,
That's
we
gonna
have
be
several
pretty good.
cases.
All right, please. On the next page, we have Mark Anthony Reyes with Todd Lesser. Nathan Cruz with Jacqueline Lamerson. Abdul Miller with Andrew Hicks.
That should be a plea, Judge.
All right, thank you. Pablo Rodriguez with Joanne De Hoyos.
Motion, Judge, I'll return it.
All right. Gus Gallegos with Robert Guyona. All right, can I see the file on Gus Gallego, please? All right, thank you. So what date do you want to put this on?
I think that.
February 1st, all right. So Gus Gallegos, it's gonna come back on February 1st. Could you let him know, Deputy Laura, we're waiting for his evaluation?
Yes, Judge.
And if we get his evaluation sooner, we'll bring him back sooner. And Felix Acuna,
I haven't done it, the no show, Judge.
all right, we'll take that up. Devin Wilson. John Albert Garcia, did he come in to sign his paperwork? It's with probation. He's in custody.
Yes, Your Honor. We took care of it.
Edgar Aguilar. All right, awesome. So Deputy Laura, this is what we're gonna do, because we have the pleas that we need to do. Let's have the jury come back exactly
At one.
all right, at 1. For the attorneys who are here, any objections to me letting the jury know in the hallway, because I don't want them to be upset with anybody. Is there any objections to me letting the jurors know that we're gonna take care of some matters, but we're gonna call them back at 1? Okay, I will do that. So we'll do that. So everyone who has a plea, you need to work that out, and everyone else, if your client is not present, when I come back after speaking to the jurors, I am going to call those cases and a bond forfeiture may be issued. Does everyone understand? So that's what's going to happen. So we're going to take up our pleas. That way the court reporter can have a break because she's been typing, and we'll go from there.
Judge, Devin Wilson stated the, like yesterday.
Ah, okay. Arlene? Hi. Could I see the file on Kenyon Brown? All right, Arlene, on your client, I did notice in the docket sheet that he was brought over actually from federal custody. He's been in federal custody a while. Do you need any time? Because I don't want to put
No,
you.
he got over 7, 8 months ago, 6 months ago.
Okay.
You've been here a while, right? 6 months?
He probably put it in the file that's.
He's sitting
All right, so we'll, then on Kenyon Brown, we'll come back at 1:15.
Okay.
All right, so Mr. Brown, we'll bring you back at 1:15, okay? All right. All right, thank you. This goes to probation. And then who is your client?
Mr. Monte Moreno, Judge, we are ready to approach on it.
All right. Could I see the file on Monte Moreno?
Are you ready for me to come up?
Yes. It's is it? Criminal trial divisions?
I believe so. That was my understanding, Judge. Whenever,
Right?
when you pointed at me, I was like, I'm about to have to double check.
All right. So where are we on Mr. Macho Moreno? It was plea deadline date. So is he accepting the plea or what are we doing?
Your Honor, just with the pleas, there was some additional discovery that I had not reviewed with him. It's a very specific issue. It was the state uploaded it, but it was after our first discovery upload. So I guess what I'm saying is that we want to see that, so there are some videos up there that we have not, my office has not downloaded, that I would want to present to Mr. Monte Moreno for his satisfaction prior to him, because at this point, he's not accepting the offer. I just don't want it to be a situation where if he had seen this additional discovery that he would have, we would ask the court respectfully for one more setting prior to the plea deadline, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Monte Moreno, we can bring this back next week.
That should be up with Judge.
All right, Norma, are you able to put this on the 14th?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're gonna come back on December 14th.
Oh, wait, what are you saying?
Second job on the 7th. I know it's only 4 days of the week.
What days are you on?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is. I said the 7th and it's like, it's for 4 days and then I'm off, so I can check that and then.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on December 14th.
Okay.
If you want to come in before December 14th, let your attorney know.
Judge, is December 18th okay on this, because I'm in Guadalupe on the 14th and the 15th.
All right, how about December 13th?
13th, the 13th is
I'm sorry, not 13th, the 12th.
12th. The 12th.
All right, so we're gonna put this on December 12th. If there's an issue with his work,
Yes, Judge.
he can appear by Zoom.
Okay. So
I was actually gonna suggest that, Judge.
So I know, the only thing is I know my schedule is from 1 in the morning to 11 in the afternoon. So it's I work 4 days on and then 3 days off.
All right, they give you a
So-
lunch break?
I don't
They
know if
have
it
to
started yet.
legally.
I'm hoping, I would assume so.
Okay, no, they have to,
Yeah.
legally they do. So
if
we'll,
we can do now, so I'm not trying to jam it, but if we can do it via Zoom, then I can do the
Let's keep it on the 12th because I've already scratched out twice. All right, so we'll do it on December 12th and it'll be by Zoom.
No, but I'm gonna need to do, we're gonna do, I'm gonna probably do it on Zoom. Okay. With you too. It's actually where we're, it's an additional discovery. I want to make sure you see. Okay. Just, we will be excused, Your Honor.
Yes, after you sign the reset form.
Oh.
And family violence?
Yes, Judge. Oh.
That's from probation. If you all want to review that, see if you have any objections.
Yes.
And probation, here's this. No problem.
Good. We'll write it down on your, But can I get a copy of this?
Norma, is anybody ready for their plea?
We'll be up in just.
All right, because we're taking our recess at 12.
Okay.
It is 11:48. Okay.
No, you. Correct. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, where's Joseph? Because he's usually here.
Good. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Families and violence.
Yes. I'm sorry, no objection?
No objection.
All right.
And I apologize too. I now understood what you were like, already state's going on board. I'm like, well, there's like this TIC. I better understand what you meant. So my bad on that.
And if you could, if you'll give this to probation.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
And how would you like to tell me?
All right. Hey. No, I know, but he can check for them. I know. It's hot.
So Jimmy went over there. He goes.
Pablo Rodriguez. I thought,
Yes.
I thought that was put up there. And then Jason 14.
Yes, I have Pablo Rodriguez. Hi. So do you know where your client is?
We do not have contact with him. Joanne de Hoyos' office has tried to reach him.
Okay, we'll go on the record. Is this a PR bond or not?
No, it's through a bond company.
All right, court is calling 2023 CR 9938, State of Texas versus Pablo Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
defense?
The attorney records Joanne de Hoyos. I'm covering Joseph Stateson.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:53 a.m. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
I have not, Joanne de Hoyos' office has tried to contact him. We do not have contact.
Deputy Laura, was there an announcement made?
Yes, Your Honor, there was no answer.
All right, state.
Your Honor, the state asked for a bond forfeiture.
All right, that will be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, so that is done. All right, these are done. All right, what's his name? Can I see the file?
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to check because-
All right, we're gonna go on the record. Court is calling 2023 CR 9998, State of Texas versus Felix Acuna. Could I have state announced for the record?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:54 a.m. The defendant has not made an appearance. Felix Xavier Montoya Acuna. Acuna. Okay, my accent is different, but it's not that different. Okay, I did not say it like that, but okay.
Bless you.
Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement?
Yes, Your Honor, there was no answer.
All right, state.
Your Honor, state asked for a bond forfeiture.
All right, that will be granted. He will be remanded without bond. If he makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, if there's not a plea that's ready right now, we're, okay. All right. And then after this, we're gonna take our recess. Diana, see, I'm paying attention. It's almost 12. There you go. Hi,
Good morning, Judge.
good morning.
I took two cases off your docket with Judge Angelini this morning,
All right, and which ones were they?
Frank Torres and Zachary Sanchez.
Taurus, let me find him.
Is this court, isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
So they pled. They got PSI dates for February 1st.
All right, if you'll let Norma know. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Norma's on the ball. She got it.
So are you around during the lunch hour or are you gonna be somewhere else?
I'm going back to the office. I got all kinds of trouble for tomorrow. I gotta come back tomorrow for 227 trial action.
Oh, hey, that'll be awesome.
We're gonna plead.
Okay,
I'll see you later, Judge.
all right,
Take care.
thanks.
Bye-bye.
Yes, yes.
Just look on the 11 matter, were we gonna?
Come back at 1:15.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you. So the people who are coming back, it's going to be Jasmine Hardaway, Jose Lozano, Kenan Brown.
No, Kenneth Brown. Oh, yes, never
Yes.
mind.
Pete Garcia, that's supposed to be a plea.
Yes, sir. I haven't seen Daniel De La Garza.
All right.
I called his office. He said he was on his way out.
All right. Myra Gallegos is coming back. Eros Rodriguez, Arturo Villanueva, Stephen Rose, Rogelio Lara, Mark Reyes, Nathan Cruz, Felix Apolinar,
Mr. Dale, him there, he's go get him real quick.
all right, and then John Albert Garcia, that's done. And then Edgar Aguilar with John Koontz. All right, those are the cases that are coming back. All right, and this is the last plea, then we're taking our recess. Can I see the parties on Abdul Miller?
Yes, Your Honor, we're ready.
All right, court is calling 2023 CR 9729, State of Texas versus Abdul Miller. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense.
For the defense.
And are you Mr. Miller?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Miller, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Probation, this is going to be an application.
Thank you.
Going to show you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are going on count 1, Judge, and we're waiving and abandoning count 2.
We have no objections.
Mr. Miller, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of unlawfully carrying a weapon with a felony conviction as a second-degree felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe so, yes.
Do you believe he's currently competent, was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Miller, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Promise you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you were represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on count one. There's a $500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. The weapon is to be forfeited. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
That is our understanding, Your Honor, yes.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
There have been none.
Outside the agreement, state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 8 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense as charged in count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No content.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objections.
All right, state, you may continue to confer.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Miller, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will calling the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same.
Thank you.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Just we ask the court to follow the plea bargain recommendation.
All right. When's the last time you had employment?
I'm disabled, miss.
All right, do you receive SSI?
I did.
All right, what's your disability?
I have paralysis from a brain aneurysm, ma'am.
Okay. How do you support yourself other than SSI? Are you living with someone?
I do. I live with my girlfriend.
Does she have any children?
She does have children, but her children's dad, the kids live with him.
All right, do you have any children?
I do.
What are their ages?
My son, he's 7, and my daughter, she's turned 3 this year.
All right, and who do they live with?
They live with their mother.
All right. All right, this is what the court will do. The court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 8 years deferred adjudication. The weapon must be forfeited. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. There's to be no contact with Fabian Pena. Proof of employment or SSI within 60 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. 120 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once he completes parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Have you ever had or used any drugs or alcohol?
Yes, ma'am.
What drugs or alcohol?
Cannabis.
All right. If you plan or using marijuana, you'll need to have a medical prescription for that. Otherwise, you're not allowed to use marijuana on probation. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not allowed to drink alcohol while you're on probation, even if it's inside your own home. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person and regular UAs. And I'm going to want field visits one time per month for 4 months. And then thereafter, it'll be at probation's discretion.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, probation, is there anything else he needs?
Your Honor.
Just 1 second. Is there anything else he needs?
Just to confirm, it was Stadium Pena, the new contract?
Yes.
Okay, yes, that'll be it then.
All right, is there anything else you need?
I do pay child support, ma'am.
All right, so what I can tell you is standard conditions and probation will let you know this. As a part of probation, you have to support your dependents. That's in your probation conditions automatically. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Could you explain to me a little, more detail, what do you mean by the 6 months, the SSI thing?
Oh, it's 60 days. So what ends up happening is you've informed the court that you're receiving SSI, and maybe your SSI has stopped while you've been in custody. Well, if your SSI gets picked back up, you need to provide proof of that. If you cannot provide proof that you receive SSI, then you're going to have to get employment. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anything else?
That's it, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. You're gonna have to make better choices. I think now you understand that you are not allowed to have any weapons. Just 1 second, Diana. They want to do this final plea with Mr. Garcia. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you can't possess any weapons. And you can't possess weapons while you're on probation either. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may we be excused?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. All right. I'm just doing this one plea and then we're taking our recess at 1:15. So I'm just doing this plea, then I'm on recess. So please do not approach me for anything. If it's not about Pete Garcia and his plea, do not approach, because I'm only here for Pete Garcia.
We appreciate that.
It's like Get Smart, although their cone of silence and everything didn't work. It's sort of like Get Smart, only it works. What date? Okay. What, he's just gonna be sitting in jail while he's waiting for that?
He's gonna get bonded.
Give him his reset form. All right, which case is he pleading on?
On the, it's an indecency by contact, second degree.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 6930. Oh, has he been sworn in? Oh, he hasn't been sworn in. They're gonna swear him in.
So wait for me.
That's okay. And this will be it. And then we're taking our break. And Diana, you can be back at 1:30 because, yeah, because it's gonna take the jury a while to line up.
You can have to sign that.
I will. Thank you, Norma.
All right, court is going to call 2022 CR 6930, State of Texas versus Pete Garcia. Can our parties announce for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Daniel Defense.
Garcia. Daniel Garcia for the defendant.
Are you Mr. Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Garcia, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? It appears that you all are proceeding on count one. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you are waiving counts 2 and 3. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No, that's right. No, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Judge, I did.
Going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Judge, I did.
Did you understand and count one of the indictment, you're charged with indecency with a child contact? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Judge.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Judge.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Judge.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Judge. I did.
Did you intend to give up those rights and did you intend to give up those rights and enter a plea in this case today?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, Judge.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor, and I've prepared for trial, but we like this agreement and that's why we've entered into it.
All right. Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Mr. Garcia, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on count one. Punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 8 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. State is opposing your application. They will take in consideration 2023 CR 8852, 2023 CR 8851. There's to be restitution, if any, in cause number 2023 CR 8851 and 2023 CR 8852. Chapter 62, restitution and no contact with the complainant in this case. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
None were necessary.
Then to count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objections.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer the finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Ms. Ferguson, I need a date for sentencing.
January 11th.
All right, we're gonna come back on January 11th. I'll order a PSI and TAP evaluation. We'll come back on January 11th. On January 11th, I will base a decision on your application based upon the PSI report and TAP evaluation and any other evidence that's presented to the court. All right, we will see you then.
Like.
Thank you. You're welcome. And we are on break.